Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today is June 25th. It's summertime with the Will Smith song in the background. This is another edition of the MSP Initiative, MSP Talk. Let's get through some housekeeping and then we'll get on to the good stuff. MSPinitiative.com. Here you will find this session, which we're recording live right now. Hopefully you're listening to it. And we will post it onto YouTube and podcatchers and iOS and Android and sessions under MSPinitiative.com. So you follow us there. If you didn't catch us in Nashville, we are doing another MSP Community Minds in September from 25th and 26th. So come out and check out this totally educational event with MSP panels and expert workshops where there's not a credit card swipe at the end. We'll have a bunch of videos we're posting between now and September to kind of give you an idea what the vibe is. So check it out. And I made this, Jen in the background made this really cool party graphic. So here are all the parties that we're running between now and the end of the year, since, we love doing these whenever we get free time. So we're going down to IT Nation Australia and Sydney in August, and then PAX 8 Berlin in October, DattoCon in Miami in October, and then back to IT Nation in Orlando in November, and then back to Australia, DattoCon in November too. So we love block parties, and we love to party with you. So check it out. You can find all of that information under community block parties on mspinitiative.com. Second to last are offers and deals by people from around the sandbox. If you want to take advantage, great. If not, all good. And the industry calendar is there as well. So if you want to find a place to go, there's plenty to choose from. And there it all is, mspinitiative.com. If you don't know how to spell initiative, Google it and it'll fix it for you. And then just put .com and MSP in the front. You're good. All right, today is, I think, our very first time we've had this guest on the show. So we'll razz her a little bit, because the first time I met this person, before I formally introduced her, she was on a boat, and she's a Green Bay Packers fan. So we'll talk a little football for all you football people out there. How you doing, Danielle from Cyberfox?
Fabulous. Thanks for having me. Super excited to be here. Yes, that was the first time. I remember that.
I believe we made a wager about Mr. One Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I think we did.
Okay. How'd that work out?
I mean, you won, all right? Is that what you want me to tell everybody? Okay, you won. All right. But I mean, we kind of did win the end, because ultimately, look at J-Lo. Like, we have something coming. We have something happening here.
I got you. I mean, I guess, 4 plays into the season,
I know.
he got paid anyway, right? Like, he got paid for the whole season, Aaron Rodgers, last year. And like the highlights were like he ran out with the American flag and pretty much stopped.
I think everybody was just like in shock, because I felt so bad for I felt bad for Aaron Rodgers, of course, and also all the Jet fans, because this was the big day. He's coming out, he's saving this, he's making something happen. So definitely I felt for them when they showed all the screen and stuff. It killed me.
It was like, hey, you came out to your WWE like entrance music, and then you never got into the ring. Like, you just went back.
It was awful. I'm interested to see what happens this year, though. So we'll see.
Yeah, for all you Jet fans out there, we good luck this season, like to all the other NFL fans as well. But I think Aaron Rodgers already has not gone to like mini camps and all the like summertime stuff. So like, I'm like, oh.
But you also like that's Rodgers. You never know. Like, he just sometimes that's just what he does. Like that's just him.
He did work through. I think he had an Achilles, and I've never had one. I hope I never do. But he did rehab through that really fast. So
he's going through a lot. But yeah, he's been at MVP. So we'll see. I'm interested. I wish him nothing but the best. Okay, but I wish us more.
Of course. Well, I'll give you one more piece of NFL things, and then we'll get into the good stuff. But for all of you football fans, you may not realize, but if you look up the NFL schedule, which is now available, it came out in May last month. The season starts on a Friday night. A Friday night in September. You're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? There's no football on Fridays.
Friday night football.
It'll be Eagles Packers in Brazil to open up the season. How about them apples?
I'm here for it. I'm ready.
Yeah, Danielle's like, oh, I got that circled. I
I'm ready.
might be in Brazil time on that day.
Another wager here, another bet.
I mean, you know what? Let me come up with something good. Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
down. I'm down.
TVD,
I'll give you a chance to win your money back.
TVD.
Yeah, I'm down. For sure, for sure. So yeah, circle that. I believe it's the first Friday in September, so it's after the holiday. And I think that's pretty cool. Although I was just talking to somebody before this show, and I was like, how cool would it be to be in Germany with Das Boot in the stadium as they're filling up your like 800-ounce beer boot? I don't know. I thought that would be fun, but we'll have to just put that on the bucket list. Anyway, so Danielle, since it's the first time you've been on the show here, we always ask people about their journey into like IT land.
Yeah.
And you have a very interesting story that really like where you're at now is how you got into IT land, but like what happened before then? So share with us.
Yeah. So before IT land, I was in education land. So I taught kindergarten, third and fourth grade, and then moved into administration for 2 years. Absolutely loved, I had a big passion for teaching and still do have a big passion for education. So absolutely loved it. But I really felt like as I moved into administration, I felt like it was kind of my time to leave. I will say I thought I was really into IT during that during the COVID time when we were doing distance learning. Suddenly I thought I was, definitely in IT land there. The different things that they kind of taught us as far as like with doing a lot of virtual learning. But little did I know there's a lot more than that. So I got into events. I left there and I got into events. I worked for a nonprofit and I also did some with a private lending company. So just doing some different stuff. But then Cyberfox came across Cyberfox and they reached out to me and I spoke with them and came into that Tampa Bay headquarters and just between talking with Mark, Adam, David, just really felt at home there. Just feeling that. And I know it's like such a cliche thing to say, but I truly believe that. I truly mean that. Having those conversations, being able to, I mean, if you know me, you know my personality, you know David, Mark, Adam, like, we can, talk shit here and there, play around, have fun, talk football, whatever. And it just instantly was just there. And then on top of that, just hearing their passion. So they knew I had a passion for education. They knew I had a passion for doing events, talking with people, making relationships. And I could just feel that from them about this MSP community, something about this community. And so I really felt that there, just having those conversations with them. And then also getting to see David's MSP at the headquarters there itself. I could feel the passion there. And I was like, I kind of want to like know more. I kind of want to be involved with this. And so that's really how I got into IT land. Now here I am.
What the sandbox it is. And so you made a move, right? You were originally from Wisconsin, I assume.
No. I was born into the greatness, but I was not born there. Yeah. So my mom's side of the family is from Wisconsin. So I moved from West Palm and over here to Tampa Bay area. I actually was still in education when I moved, but then but yes, I've been in Tampa Bay for the past 2 years.
Okay. All right. Well, now we know. So if anybody was curious, this is the background information. So when she's walking around with the wrong color green on, and it's not Jets green, it's not Eagles green, it's Packers green, which, word on the street is it's a rumor that you're not allowed to wear your green jerseys down to Brazil, but maybe they changed their mind. We'll see.
I know. I've been seeing that. Yes.
Okay, that's very interesting. So, teaching into technology is a pretty big shift. Actually, Jen, our guru behind the scenes here at MSP Initiative, did something very similar, right? She was teaching for a long while and made that shift during COVID too. I guess like distance and remote learning are a bit different than in-person learning. I would think so. And like, not to get too far down the rabbit hole here, but for all the people that like ended up graduating, from high school or college and like the last year or two of your path was remote, different experience For sure. I can only imagine what the attention span is of a kindergarten, third, fourth grader through a screen is.
Definitely, definitely. It's a lot of like it was also a lot of developing. There weren't really tools and stuff created for that yet. Like, I mean, so and a lot of, before this, a lot of our students would, they would share computers. We might have some desktops, things like that. So it was a big shift. It was suddenly, every child was getting a laptop and they were taking it home, and they're coming and picking it up because, we're shifting to distance learning. So there's a lot of teaching, how to even like log into a computer, things like that. And then the safety things behind it. This is what we do. It's what we do to click on. It's what we do, all those things. And so there's a lot of transitioning for sure, but also a lot on the educators, right? So like we were used to making our copies and giving out their work, things like that. But instead, now you're saying I'm getting on Google Classroom and using different kinds of platforms that maybe more of like secondary might have been used to using, or even in higher level education. So it was very different for elementary, and I know it hit everybody, but it was definitely hit for elementary big time because again, just
Oh.
motor skills are being taught during that time. How to click on things and stuff. So yeah, it definitely affected the students, but also like the teachers. We had to now we're doing worksheets on our computer. How do you click on these things? How do you drag and drop these things? So it was definitely a learning thing, but I think it's helped a lot. I think ultimately that was the direction that we need to go anyways. As technology develops and as more and more careers utilize technology, I think it was actually doing a service to the children ultimately.
No, for sure. I'm just thinking like, when I was in high school,
Oh
not
Lord, what kind of student were you, George?
what kind of student was I? Had an afro. Does that help? Put it in the picture. Which true story. When I was in high school, my school was piloting what ultimately was happening at college at the time, where every kid got the smart boards, the projectors. Every kid had
Yes, yes.
like the textbooks were like they're trying to do away with textbooks, make everything on the computer, exams, all that stuff. So at the end of the day, like they were trying to drag that down from college to high school and see if it even works.
Right.
Like, so fast forward, another, jump here, right? Like taking this down to the elementary school level was a pretty big shift. And to your point, I think technology is great, especially with the tablets and the apps and the Chromebooks, other cool things that have like kind of brought the price point down to make it affordable. But I think that was done like pretty much on a crash, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure everything was 100% ready for it, that whole
Yes.
move.
There wasn't like necessarily a full on rollout ready there, but yes, correct. But
No.
here we are. Now you have children that are able to log in, they're able to get on these laptops, they're able to submit their work. I mean, they honestly were teaching, they were working a lot with the educators, teachers, and showing them different things. So it's really cool. But
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I would hope that like we talk about like people coming into the workforce and everybody always talks about, oh, Gen this, Gen that, Z, Y, millennials, blah blah blah, blah, right? Like,
Yeah.
Social media for people like me and you really only came out probably like while we were in college, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that really blew up after we were through grade school, high school, that kind of thing. Like,
Definitely.
look now, right? Like that's happening basically from like birth all the way through.
Yeah,
So
seriously, yeah.
the aptitude for somebody when it comes to technology skills should be way different for like
Definitely.
your workforce, right?
Definitely, definitely. I mean, I was used to, trying to get a hold of a friend or telling my friend, "Hey, I'll meet you halfway and we're gonna go play outside," right? So it was a little different for sure, but it's definitely it's changed a lot, but I see a lot of really positive things too, for sure. But
Yeah, but talk about, I know cybersecurity we'll get into in a second, but
yeah.
talk about your digital footprint, right? If it's starting while you're really young,
Mm-hmm.
like before, right? Like you may have had email, right? And then all of a sudden there's
Right.
AOL
Might have had some
Instant
AIM,
Messenger,
instant messenger or
right?
something.
MySpace, right? And then all of a
Yeah.
sudden it was all the other stuff came out, like, but like if you like how many parents are creating social media accounts for their babies?
Yeah.
A lot. So talk about, that following you through your entire path.
Hmm.
I guess that's kind of by design. We'll
I
see.
guess. Yeah.
Um, So let's talk Cyberfox. So, so for everybody that didn't catch what Danielle was saying, right? We had Dave Bellini, right? We had Dave and Arnie, who was part of the ConnectWise story. So if anybody knows that name, and you should, if you're in, MSP IT land. And then, of course, Adam Slutskin, right? Who, was part of that as well, right? Who was kind of managing the charge there for ConnectWise for a long while under sales and was their sales leader. And then like Mark Sokol, right, has kind of been, came from that same tree, right? So those, I was just putting last names to some of the people.
Yes.
I got to tell you, right? Like there's something to be said for startups versus a more established corporate environment, right? And like, it's, I would say a lot of people kind of thrive, in a startup where they're not as excited once things are a bit more, past that stage, right? So you came into this story pretty much like less than 6 months into the whole thing, right? I mean, early days.
It was earlier. Yeah, it was early. So they had just rebranded. So we have Password Boss, which is our password management solution. And, without going too much in, and Auto Elevate, which is our privilege access management solution. And so when we acquired Auto Elevate, we realized we needed to have one umbrella name. And so that's whenever we gave it Cyberfox. And that was before I joined. And then it was like, I think it was like 3 months or 4 months afterwards is whenever I came on and joined the Cyberfox team. So that's kind of that.
I guess we should ask them why they chose Fox out of all the ones to choose from. Did they tell you?
There were a different one. There were a bunch of different ones, and ultimately that was the winner. And it's awesome. I love the name. I love it.
Hey, don't you can't outsmart the Fox. I think there's
a
couple cool things that you guys put out there on marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And like the majority of people, even today in Cyberfox, pretty young people.
Yeah.
Like I would say, like there's definitely some people that have been around the block that came along, but I would say a large part of the team there is probably, under 30, probably. How does that work for, like, we'll talk about how, like, their methodology, because everybody has a different mode for how they cycle people work from home versus office, like that. But how does that, like, are you in a teaching capacity, right, with that group, or like how do you see that whole thing kind of maturing?
So it's really, really exciting, honestly, because, ultimately, no matter where you're at in your career, we want people that are excited for, who have that same kind of feeling coming into as I was talking about with the headquarters, and that are another great addition to like our culture. That's something that's really big for us. And I know, a lot of companies will say that and such, but I really feel like when people come into our headquarters just to come and like visit or something, they feel it. There's energy there. We're vibing together. We're having fun. Like, are there times when we're like, just like, this might be a little quieter here and there. Yeah. But for the most part, like we're like really just the energy is just really high. And it's awesome. And then on top of that, so no matter where you're at in your career, it's more of like coming in, because you mentioned age or whatever, coming right out of college, or maybe you've been around the block, like you said, you've been in different companies. It's more about how you kind of fit with that energy and that culture. And so we really are able to kind of feel that out, and hopefully they feel that same way, people coming in for that position. And so a lot of it is like, what kind of fit are you, for the company and the culture. And then past that, we are so blessed to have some, like you said, there have been people from other companies that have been around the block. They have so much experience that they're able to help, really coach and mentor and stuff. And so for me, when I came in, I didn't know what MSP world was or IT land. I didn't know any of this, right? So honestly, I got a lot of coaching specifically from Mark Sokol and Adam Slutskin, and then even some other people in the channel, like Cynthia and like Christine Gassman. I would reach out to them because, I want to learn from people, and I want to, develop into even more established and develop in a better community leader, not only for my company at Cyberfox, but also throughout the whole community. So I think a lot of it, again, it's just a lot of the mentoring stuff. So for me, I try to coach people as far as, especially for events, and that kind of side and what we do. And our hosted guest events and our trade shows and who we are as a company. But then we have so many, like I said, so many other awesome leaders that really do a lot of the coaching of the sales and operations and marketing and so many other areas. So it's
Yeah,
really a strong squad. It
that's
is.
awesome. And then
Yeah.
like, so if everybody doesn't know, um, Cyberfox works out of the original, like one of the ConnectWise sales offices that like where they started the company one way back when. So
Mhm.
it's cool, right? You know, from hey, we're starting back from the old stomping grounds, right? From
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
that perspective. So like,
Yeah.
how often do people come into the office versus work from home? Like, I don't know if
Yeah.
that's changed in the last few years, but like, what's the current setup?
Yeah. So we're hybrid. So we come in the office 3 days a week and then 2 days are at home. I love that method. I love that setup. Because especially for me, like I'm on the road a lot, so I miss it. Like to be honest with you, I know a lot of people like it's like, well, don't you wouldn't you rather be at home? No, I genuinely love. Again, I told you about the energy. The energy is there. Like my people are there. I love being around them. I truly do. So, so yeah, we come in 3 times a week and then 2 days, at home, remote. So it's really a great setup. It's great.
Yeah, something about the office environment. I mean, as much as people are like, hey, I want to work from, the beach,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you just learn better when you're around people. At least I do. But
Yeah. And like you get to have, I don't know, meetings actually like out of, like in a conference room. I don't know. You're there, you're in front of each other, right? If you guys want to have lunch all together, it's not like, okay, I'm going to order food and we'll do Uber Eats across like the Zoom, you're there. You get to hang out with each other. Or if you want to run downstairs, a little cafe at our headquarters, you can go down there, get some coffee real quick. You're around each other. I feel like you guys just get to know each other so much more too in that sense. So it's awesome.
that's great. How many people in the company now?
I think we're at around 70. I believe that's around the number we're at. Yeah.
That's awesome.
With
Well,
a big amount. And also another good thing about it is, how many times have you tried like team somebody or trying to get a hold of somebody and they've answered your email? Probably do this too much, but Anthony Blaney, he's head of our operations over there, and I'm just like, hey, I can go over there and he'll help me with. He helps me with so much stuff. But I'm like, I can just walk over to his desk and get the answers I need or support I need and stuff. So
does everybody remember that when you
it's
can
another
just
pro.
walk to
Do what?
somebody? It's like, does everybody who's watching this like remember when you could just walk down a hallway and talk to somebody? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. I think that's why we love the event so much, right? Because it's like, hey,
Mm.
like I don't have to like send you a message, right? I can just talk to you. How about that?
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Face to face.
100%. So we saw you at PAX 8 Beyond.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, right? You're kind of managing all the events and like internal, external, right? We'll talk a little bit about that.
Correct.
How many events a year does Cyberfox do?
So we've grown, we're doing more and more. So right now, and again, we're still working on some of the back end of the year, but right now I think we're at around 63 right now that we've had for sure. But it could possibly add more. But yeah,
It's a lot of events, and then
it's a
and then
lot.
and then you run your own internal events, right? The
Exactly.
secure IT summits, is that what we
Yep.
call them?
Secure IT Summit. Yep. So those are our hosted guest events. We are doing another one in August, and that will be our 6th one. We started this last year. Absolutely love these events. So we have you have the big trade shows you go to, the big conferences, lots and lots of people. But this is like a little different. It's a little more intimate event. We do it at our headquarters, and we invite 50 MSPs to come and hang out with us for a day and a half, us and some other sponsors. Typically, it's us and 4 other sponsors. So come hang out with us, come to the headquarters. It's very relaxed, but it's meant to be a time that not only is it's educational, you can check out some of the solutions that are there, obviously, but it's also like a time where you can have like a lot of networking. I really believe that, and I always use this example, but when I was a teacher, we always would have certain teacher work days, right? Where sometimes, we were able to do stuff in our classroom, but sometimes we would have like a district personnel that would come and, speak to everybody and stuff like that. And I worked at some like, pretty tough schools. I was very passionate about children that just really, 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 really needed me. Yeah. And so I was in the trenches. I was there. I was working all night. I was doing so much. Okay. And so I always struggled whenever people that maybe just had like, behind their desk, or, I'm sure they had different battles to face, right? But telling me I should do this, that, change this. It was a lot. It was a lot. I know I have so much to do. I know, but I have to prioritize. I know I need to do these things for my classroom. I know I need to do this for my children. But I can't do everything. I need to prioritize certain things. So I really think about that. Like I try to like use as like to relate to like an MSP. It's like I know I need these certain security things. I know I need these certain things, but I'm trying to prioritize certain things. So my goal is for these events, or hope for these events, is that not only can you learn about some different solutions and such, but you can really like talk with each other, because you guys are the ones that are in the trenches. You guys are the ones that are each day dealing with these things. So it's an opportunity for you to hopefully be able to talk more with each other and relate, and makes either maybe get some more mentors with some other friends, whatever. So we've had a lot of really good feedback from MSPs about that, and that's really been a big piece of feedback that have really spoken a lot to me. So
Okay. So if anybody wanted to learn more about, you're doing these in Tampa, host a
yeah,
guest means you're bringing them in, right?
yeah,
So like a trip.
pay for everything, pay for the flights, hotel, food. We give Uber gift cards, so as they're around, everything, take care of transportation. We try to think of all the details.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's awesome.
So where do they go find more information about that if they're interested?
Yes, so if you're interested in requesting to attend, because again, it is invite only, because we do keep it very small. You can shoot us a message, shoot me a message, Adam a message on LinkedIn. You can also check us out on our LinkedIn, Cyberfox LinkedIn. We post about it on there, and they can click on the link that's on there. It's an interest form, and you can fill that out. And if you're interested in attending,
Awesome. Wow. And you have how many more left this year?
one more in August, and then one more in December. And yeah, so super excited. And then next year we'll continue to do more of them. Love
Florida,
them.
Florida in December sounds good.
Yeah. I was talking to Jen before we came on here. I was like, right now it's a little hot, but it's gonna slowly cool down. But Tampa, Florida, I love Tampa. So there's the beach nearby. And that's something else we offer, is like, whenever you come to the event, let's pretend you want to extend your stay and you want to make it a weekend or something. I get it. Like, you already have your flight out here, might as well. So, we work with them and try to make it so that they can, while they're here, if they want to stay longer, and all that. So
So do we
Tampa's
call
awesome.
that beach as a service? Is that right?
Right? Sounds good.
That's funny. Well, for some reason, the Eagles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers seem to play each other every year for some, like the last 3 or 4 years. So
I
I
have
looked
seen that.
back to football. I looked at the schedule. Here we go, Eagles at Tampa again. So at the
They
very
come in.
least, we'll see. We'll see. Hey, do we? There's Brazil and there's Tampa. Like 3 weeks later, like you gotta
I know. I
priorities.
know.
Talked about can't do everything, right?
Mm-hmm. I get
Mm.
it. I get it. There's one in there's a Packers game. I was trying to see like when they're gonna be, somewhat near Florida. Because we turned the Bay green a few years ago. It was beautiful over here in Tampa. But they're coming to Jacksonville. I'm definitely gonna
Okay,
check out that game.
that's easy for you to get to. I
Yeah,
think.
exactly. And anytime they
Probably
come
just
to
drive.
Miami, do what?
Probably just drive.
Yeah, I think it's like, I want to say like 4 hours maybe. So not too bad. Not
Yeah,
too bad.
after you're on a bus driving through America for days and days on end, 4 hours is nothing.
Easy,
Fine.
easy, easy. And I'll definitely be going to
Uh,
Orlando this year too, for sure.
exactly. Let's talk about Cyberfox then, right? So we know that there's some stuff that's happening now. I talk to your buddy Adam pretty regularly. I know there's some stuff coming. I'm not going to break any news on this, unless you're going to, but there's some cool things, it sounds like, that are like pretty close. I don't know if they make, maybe this year even, right, that add to the story of the Fox. But, what is it? What is the story today, right? Cyberfox, MSPs, what's the offering?
What's the offer? Just trying to give time back to the techs.
Okay.
That's it. Making things automated. So we have Password Boss, which is our password management solution, so safely sharing and storing passwords. And our big product that we get, is Auto Elevate. So that is privileged access management. So taking away those local admin rights, bring them down standard without disrupting the end user experience. So we intercept those UAC events and then you can create rules based on that. And so it's one less thing for your tech staff to remote in, and one less ticket that your end users have to put in. And so it just makes it so much more automated. If it's a QuickBooks update, it's a trusted application, you can set that rule and it will automatically make them feel like they have admin rights without actually having admin. And our dashboard, it shows you how much time your techs are saving, which is something that whenever you're looking at that, you're like, okay, wow, like that's a lot. And so to do other priorities. And then we also have some other features like our blocker feature. So what if they get around a UAC event? We can set some blocker rules to help with that as well, especially with those living off land tax. Yeah, so that's our big thing, is what we're really trying to do is just give back the text back the time, especially with Auto Elevate.
All right, that's awesome.
And the other stuff that Adam told you, I'll leave that with Adam. That's it. That's not me.
It's some cool stuff, like more things being added to the pile that of cool things that you already have. And so like, I don't want to use the word stack because I know it gets abused all the time, right? But like, we know we've talked about cybersecurity a lot, right? Multiple layers is probably the best way to say it, right? Rather than using geeky terms. But like at the end of the day, there's a lot of options out there, and like the problem is that maybe when you have so many options and then you buy little, something from here, something from there, something from there, managing all of those things back to time, right, becomes problematic, almost to the point where an entire role has to get created in some of these MSPs that they almost can't afford, especially if you're small, right? Which is like a centralized tools and apps person, right? That like literally has to juggle all of these things. So there's something to be said for finding a way to streamline that as best as possible, right?
Yeah.
I know me and you ran into each other just at the Roost, or I'm sorry, Flow conference.
Yeah.
Just last week, and the theme around workflows and automations not necessarily new. It's been around for as long as I've been in the sandbox, but it has taken like a little bit of a more sharper curve, meaning like what's available today and what you can do today isn't the same thing you could do 10 years ago. It's a little bit more advanced, and you can take it 3, 4, 5 steps further if you have the right tools, if you have the right skill set in your company. But there's something to be said for ease of use, right? Like I could take some complicated things, and if you have the right people and the right tools, you can try and simplify it. But if it's already that way coming out of the box, now we're having a different conversation, which is, hey, back to the concept of Auto Elevate, right? If I don't to remote in every time somebody needs to install an update, every time somebody needs to install new software, I gotta bump into the customer. I gotta figure out when they're not, gonna be, in the middle of something. You play back and forth via email 100 times. Then finally you remote in. Then you do the work. Then you gotta document it. Then you gotta, like, by the time all of that's said and done, did you burn an hour? Did you burn more? And we're talking 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 60 seconds versus 10x, 12x, 100x of that time. So back to that concept, the more you can streamline, I think, the better the story. And I love how there's no question that all of us either, hey, I'm going to save you money or I'm going to save you time, right? Usually the conversation starts on those two things.
Yep.
So it'll be cool to see as the company adds more things to the story, how that kind of comes together, and like the upgraded messaging once that happens should be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's awesome because it's also like you said, you shouldn't have to have one dedicated person managing like that tool, right? And so I think a lot of it is, I think a lot of MSPs are used to having to do that. Even with some of the other tools that are out there, competitive tools, you have to have a dedicated person just to even roll it out. Or maybe you're hiring somebody from that software company to help roll out, support that. Instead, like, let's let you guys be the winners here, and you guys show that. And it's even super easy just to deploy out. It's like it's just sitting there, it's just listening, it's just tracking those events. And so that way, whenever end user can't even like tell it's on there. And when that way, whenever you're ready to completely go live, you already have some rules kind of set out. It's super easy for them. And they feel like they have those admin rights without actually having them. So, and again, it kind of gives that power back to the MSP without having to have one dedicated person, like you said. So
100%.
making it more automated for sure. And then, of course, like you said, time, and money, because ultimately you can see on the dashboard how much time, how many hours, you're it's saving your techs, right? So, you kind of can take that time and put it with money. How much are you paying them? So kind of put it there, like how much money. We had one of our partners even kind of do the math at one point and share it and was like, wow, like that. So it is kind of affiliate there, as well as, our cost. We are also in the PAX8 marketplace as well. But then also, our cost is, it's very competitive. So definitely.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like, everybody hopefully can calculate their effective labor rate, right? Like, by the time you take what it costs to employ somebody and all the other things that come along with being in business, right? The overhead and the insurances and the, the just keeping the lights on, equipment, all the other stuff, right? And then you can figure out what your effective labor rate is, figure out what your median time is for a task, and basic math after that should tell you what your cost is to the company. So, like, do math. If you have those numbers in place, which, guys, if you don't know your numbers, please, please go figure them out. And there's people out there can help you. There's tools out there can help you. But once you understand those pieces, the rest of this is just easy, right? You can even, you don't even need an Excel formula. You can just use a calculator. And I'm not even a big Excel guy, but I can tell you, hey, I know what my effective labor rate is per position. I know what my customer, if like the evolution of that is, how much is the customer, costs to you per month, right? What is the value of your customer agreement to you on a monthly, quarterly, annual basis? And if if you can get to that point, which again, there's people and tools out there that can help you understand this easy, then hey, is this good or is this bad? Do I have a customer that's valuable to me and like, is it profitable? Is it a win-win for each side of this? Or am I losing money on this account? And does it make sense to continue? Once you know that, now you're really cooking. And like, then this is where you can get strategic, coming back to the concept of Cyberfox. You're like, listen, all right, I'm profitable. I know what each account costs me. I know what each task costs me. I know what my people are costing me, right? I've gone through this exercise. Then when you're evaluating solutions out there, this is where the rubber meets the road. You're like, well, hey, hold on. If I can cut back X number of hours per person, per week, per month, per quarter by implementing a new solution, there's an actual real, like, specific figure to you that like the business is like, now, all right, I can save this in labor costs. I can now make my account more profitable. You're going to come back and say, but George, a salary is a salary. Unless they're working overtime, it's the same cost to the company. Hold on. One of two things happens there. Either I'm going to take that cost savings, that time savings, and add more customers. Now I'm going to occupy their time because it's available. Or I'm going to introduce net new products and services that are going to generate the company more revenue, which means you're making more money. So like, this all clicks into each other, right? So I for as many people, and by the way, nobody has to come back and tell me and roll their eyes how many times, George, I've heard it all. I've heard single pane of glass 18 million times in my career. Yes, you have. And the marketing people, probably sold the picture that wasn't 100% there many, many times. But if you then come back to the numbers, which everybody's in business to make money, you're not a nonprofit out here, IT managed services people, work backwards from how you make money and how profitable you are. Once you understand that, the rest fills in. So when somebody like Danielle comes and says, I can show you, okay, if instead of 30 minutes, it takes you 2, that's 28 minutes of labor time that can be allocated to something else. That's real. It's not real if you don't know your numbers, though.
Right.
So if you don't know where to go, get help for that. Shoot us all messages. We'll try and get you into the right direction. But please, please, please don't guess. I love people who are like this. Look, I think it's no. Know your numbers, right? Just like hey, my credit card bill comes in the month. I know what I owe. I got to figure out how to pay that bill. Same with your business. Once you know these numbers, I think the rest really feeds itself in. So like, I love when I run into, and Danielle, I'm sure you could, give me your thoughts, but I love when I go to an event, I talk to an MSP and they're always like, hey, so how old is your MSP? A few years old. I'm like, oh, okay. How many people do you have? It's like, oh, we have like 3 or 4 people. I was like, oh, so you're still starting? They're like, no, we have 50 customers already. And you're like, whoa, you're 3 or 4 years in, you only have a couple of people. How do you service 50 customers?
Right.
They're like, everything is automated, like to the hits. And I'm
Mhm.
like, I want to see what that looks like, because when
Yeah.
I started back in the like 2000s, a lot of this stuff didn't even exist.
Right.
So
No,
like, I love that.
definitely agree. No, definitely. Because again, like you said, automated, it's becoming less of that they have to do on, all the time on their own. And so it just, yeah, they're able to focus on other things.
100%. I like, let's be profitable. Let's make money. Let's not, for all the people that are like, hey, I've been doing this for 20 years and like, I pay myself and then, there's not a lot else left to look at. And it's like, okay, well, did you just create a job for yourself then? Like, what's the upside for you, right? Let's get past just the basics, but I digress. Let's move on. Let's talk about the community aspect of this whole sandbox we live in. 63 plus events. That's a lot of events. You get out a lot. Hopefully you're not the only one going to these events. I'm pretty
No,
sure.
I don't do 60. I don't attend 63 events.
I was gonna say that you might get a little crazy. You might want the beach more than you want 63 events, but I digress. That's why you bring people to the beach. Beach as a service.
There you go. There you go.
It is a cool sandbox that we live in, and it's amazing. Have you ever heard that less than 10% of all of the available IT and managed services companies actually get to a single event every 12 months?
Yeah, I've heard that a lot aren't even able to attend. I've heard a lot weren't able to attend, definitely. Which is why, like, we hope to, with the Secure It Summit, the more hosted ones or smaller ones, and I think even ones that kind of what you're doing, it to hopefully bring some of the other, MSPs that kind of would rather not attend the super big ones, or a more local event or something that makes it, easier for them to attend, ideal for them. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
have heard
just
some things.
amazing, right? Let's just say 10% is the number. And by the way, it's less. If anybody wants to challenge me, be my guest. So that means let's just use 10%. That means 90% of the available IT and managed services guys, girls, professionals, whatever you want to call yourselves out there, never make it to the hotel lobby bar, the hallway, the breakout session, whatever it is. It's amazing, right? That, like that many people and that, like just, you don't even get a chance to do that, right? The in-person thing that we all know and love.
Yeah.
So that being said, why are people surprised then, Danielle, when they find out that the attendance, I call it turnover, right? So if 100 people came to an event last year, 50 of the 100 are new people the next year. Why are you surprised? Right? I don't expect people to, like, you remember the industry calendar that I talked about, like right at the beginning of this call? There's like 300 plus events. I don't expect
it's a lot.
you out of your business 300 times. You're going to pick 1 or 2 or whatever, or 0 for that matter.
Yes.
So like, why are people shocked that if I go to pick the name, doesn't matter to me this year, next year, half the people are different?
I really don't know why they'd be surprised, honestly, because I mean, like you said, if what you're saying with the 10%, I mean, it's ultimately, changing. Like you said, they can't. Not every company is able to go to every event, like, and it's also what's different about the event too. What are we going to gain from it? So, going to 20 events or whatever it is as MSP, honestly, you have a business to run, so it's probably hard to get away from that. But then also like you said, like I can see them, maybe they're trying out different events, something standing out to them, from the education standpoint. I know even with our summits, like, when they want to know, like, what's going to be our focus, what are we talking about, and then also like, what can I share with my team that I can plan to bring back with me. We get those questions all the time. So really not sure why, the big surprise though.
Interesting. Have you and the team over at Cyberfox gone down like MDF style events with your customers yet?
No, I don't think so. What do you mean the MDF style events? Like what kind of
Yeah,
style?
so let's say like an MSP comes to you and is like, hey, I want to throw, I want to do
Oh,
some
with them. Yes.
custom
Okay. Sorry.
activity, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we haven't done those personally. We did attend one where we've kind of gone and we've sent like a speaker to kind of help support like that, but we haven't done fully that style. No.
okay. Well, that will just explode, if you formalize that, right? The
Yeah.
number of places you have to send people, which make that even more
Yeah.
interesting.
Definitely. Definitely
For sure,
more
for
for sure.
sure.
But I have
What
heard some good things about that though. I have.
Yeah, no, I mean, for the companies that do, have like, have really gotten that into like a well-oiled machine, right? And
Mhm.
for the MSPs to take advantage of it, because let's face it,
Yeah.
you're not willing to get out and go to an event for you, how likely are you to then turn around and put on an event for your prospective or existing customer?
Right.
Eh, I think, like that, the willingness to do either is in the same ballpark, in my opinion, but
I can see that. Yeah. It's definitely something we want to support like our partners. We want to be able to, go and share and stuff. But it's honestly sometimes just the amount of people too. We're like you said, we're at so many events, but we have done a few. We have done like with as far as like going and guest speaking.
Got it. All right, we'll do some rapid fire Danielle questions now as we're in the final stretch here. Favorite airport?
Oh man. Honestly, it's Tampa. I'm sorry, but it's Tampa. It's so easy, so fast. And I mean, a lot of people are surprised, but I don't have what's it called? Not the clear or whatever it is. I
You
don't
don't
have
have.
all
Well,
that.
hold on. Do
I
you
don't,
have
I don't
TSA
have any of
pre-check?
that. I don't have
You
any of that.
have
The pre-check.
pre-check,
Yeah, I don't
no
have any of that.
puncher?
I know
Are
people
you
are
good?
always surprised. They're like, "Wait, what? Don't you travel?" No, I just have never done it. I need to do it, but it's super fast. I really kind of don't need it. It's really fast in Tampa. I mean, the other ones are a little slow, but Tampa for sure. And we
Cool.
have our big flamingo too. It looks super cool inside. Yeah,
That
it's
is
just
true. It is a very big flamingo in the airport. Okay. So Tampa's your favorite airport. Favorite, uh, destination city for a channel event.
that I've gone to.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, NerdioCon was awesome. Punta Cana, gotta say it. It's pretty awesome. It was
Uh,
good to be like, just all inclusive there with everybody. Just it's easy to eat with everybody and see everybody. So definitely, I think
okay.
probably there.
I heard
And I
they're
mean, and
I
a
heard they're
beautiful
moving it.
views.
I heard they're moving that one. It's gonna be in a new place.
I know, I did hear that. I tried to get out of Morgan, but it was this. Nope.
Okay. All right. Have you ever lost your luggage?
Um, there was one time it didn't get lost necessarily, but it yes, I guess technically it was lost. They were trying to find it because my flight got canceled. So it was here and there and everything, but I have a tracker on it, so I was like, I know where it's at. So give me my luggage. But yeah, it wasn't too bad though. I had to wait like 2 hours.
Yes. Wait for the AirTag discount and like buy them all. Put them in
Air
everything.
tag. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
100%. All right. Have you ever run to catch a plane and were the last person off?
No, not yet. Knock on wood.
Okay.
Not yet.
Biggest bar tab you can remember since you started at Cyberfox?
Let's see. It's hard because usually we're, getting with other vendors and splitting it up and stuff. Because again, we're partnering with a lot of people and everything. So I'm not really sure, honestly.
Okay.
I'm really
All
not
right.
sure.
That's okay. After some of these block parties, I love to show them the CVS style receipt
Final, yeah.
at the end, and I'm like, all right, here you go. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, and I'm like, yep, that's a thing. Okay. Uh, do you check your bag or can you fit everything in a roller border?
No, I 100% check a bag. I don't
Oh,
care if I have to. I have to. I have to. Just listen for everybody out there. It's that just in case stuff. You just never know. Like, I mean, there's been times when I've even had I've made a flight or something, and it's like or that it gets delayed or canceled or something. So yeah, just in case. Just in case. So no, I always check a bag. And we also like we bring our stuff with us for the event. So I'll check, a Cyberfox bag too. So oh
Okay.
yeah, my
All right.
stuff's I want it to be with me. So
I want to put you through rollerboarder Olympics, Danielle. I think you could just crush it if we just tried just a little bit.
do it.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll invite you. Favorite restaurant?
Favorite restaurant. We just went when we were at Pac State. We did a team dinner at the first night we got there. It was at Garden Grace. It was really good over there in Denver. So that one was really good. That's one of my favorites. Really good.
Okay. Um, Uber or Lyft?
Uber.
Okay.
Easy.
What now? Go to rental car company.
I don't think I've rented a car, honestly.
You've never rented a car?
I don't think I have, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think I had like there might have been one car issue before, and they assigned me a car or whatever, but no.
Okay.
Knock on wood. I don't want to have to
All right.
for those reasons.
Fair enough. We know you have a passport because you went to NerdioCon in
Yeah.
Punta Cana.
Yes.
Favorite international destination?
I've been to Kenya. That was really cool.
Wow.
Yeah, that was really cool. So probably there went on safari and stuff. So it was really cool.
That's
Yeah,
pretty cool. I
it
have
was
to ask
awesome.
more about that story later.
Yeah,
How often do you get stopped in airport security?
rarely, if
Mhm.
any. Yeah, rarely, if
Yeah.
any.
Yeah. Do yourself a favor. Don't travel anywhere near me. You'll be fine.
Oh
Uh,
man, I feel like there's some stories there.
so many stories. Okay. And so we're in June. That means you have 6 more months left in the year. Favorite upcoming trip that you're looking forward to?
Um, there's a lot. I'm just trying to think. So one of the events I'm looking forward to is I've never been over to Australia, so I'm looking forward to meeting that community over there. We'll be there. I'm not going to both, but we'll be there for IT Nation, APAC over there, as well as Kaseya DataCon. So later in November. So I look forward to going there and really getting to know that community over there.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Kangaroos and beaches.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah, that'll be cold probably, but it'll still be, I don't know, look forward to it.
No, the seasons are kind of inversed, right? So like we're in
Yeah, I think it's
September in
supposed to be
winter
cold
time.
though.
Okay. We'll have to check the temperature. And are you going in August or are you going in November?
I have not decided yet. I believe right now my plan is to go in August. So,
Oh,
and I think it's a little colder.
yeah, August,
I need
like
to decide that
November.
here soon, but yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say November will probably be nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so we know you're a Packers fan. Any other sports teams you follow?
Honestly, I tried to follow Lightning. I tried to follow like so like okay, what's a Tampa Bay one I could get into, but I've never really gotten too like super into it. I'm trying though. So I'm trying. Like everybody's watching the basketball stuff that was going on at Pac State. I have no idea. So, I want to find something else. But I really am into the NFL. So like we even do our own fancy football league with Cyberfox too. So I'm all about that. So it's so much fun. So I don't know. I need to find another one, but just that passion, it's
Okay.
just different there.
All right. Last concert you went to?
Concert. It might have been Morgan Wallen.
Okay.
I don't go to a lot of concerts, so I
Okay.
think it might have been Morgan Wallen.
Oh, that's a popular one for sure.
Yes, yes, yes. Coming to Tampa here soon too, but yeah, definitely.
Okay. Very nice. All right. Where are we going to see you next?
Next, this is June. I have to think about my months here. I'll be at Exchange Security next month.
Okay.
In July. Yes, July, right? Yeah, July. I think I might have a couple other ones in July too, but yeah. So I think that's my next one though. And then
Awesome.
RoarCon, we're a sponsor at RoarCon by Lion Guard. So we'll be there as well. Looking forward to that. That's where you'll see me and Pam. I'm surprised you haven't brought up Pam yet.
I, like Pam's just gonna have the Fox. Okay, is that? I didn't know the Fox had a name.
Yes, everybody. Yes. Pam. Listen, it was who was it? One of my MSP friends goes. I was at one point at Pac State. It said, he said, I haven't seen you carry Pam the past 2 times I've seen you. Like, what's going on here? You always have Pam with you. And I'm like, I know, but sometimes I want to carry something. So, but yeah.
You're checking Pam in the bag that you're checking instead of having it with you. That's what it is.
Yeah, listen, I need a break sometimes, all right? Yeah, it's a really good name. I can't take credit for that name, but I posted it on LinkedIn and asked for some names.
I had no idea that was a thing. Now
That's
I know.
it. Pam.
Trivia question.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, I assume if somebody wanted to learn more information, they can go to cyberfox.com.
That's it. Cyberfox.com.
Okay.
Definitely.
And then for everyone else that wants to look up Danielle on all the social media platforms, Danielle and Cyberfox is probably faster than I would absolutely you don't have to say it, but like I like spelling your last name, I would screw that up. I'm gonna be honest.
Kostadinovich.
Oof.
Yep. Long. I know. Imagine like spelling my email address over the phone and everything. Yeah, it's long. But
so did they give you an easier email address?
Nope.
Wow.
Nope. It's all good though.
I'd be like, just make it D at Cyberfox.
Yeah, right. Just D. Hey, D, right here. That's it.
I'm gonna make mine G at MSPinitiative.com. And then
there you go.
Guys, this session was absolutely recorded. If you run into Danielle out and about, which with all those events coming up, if you want to, you will. Always good time. Check out cyberfox.com. These guys are constantly on the road, which is why we run into them all the time, and good friends in the sandbox. So this session was recorded. You'll find this at mspinitiative.com under sessions, and keep coming back because we do these a couple times a week, as long as we're not out and about on airplanes, because I probably would get in trouble if I tried to do one of these on an airplane. And we already know that, like, I need to avoid that. So anyway, thank you for joining us, Danielle. For everyone else, catch you on the flip side, and have a great upcoming July through December. It's a long time.
Thanks for having me. I'll see you guys hopefully in a bit soon.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.